The Golden Locket, Chapter 1, Journey to London. Emma White held her small bag close as the horse-drawn coach moved slowly along the muddy road. It was a cold morning in October 1785. Rain fell on the wooden roof above her head. She looked out the window at the green fields of England. In 2 hours, she would reach London for the first time. Emma was only 17 years old. She had never left her small village before. "Are you afraid, dear?" asked Mrs. Baker, an old woman sitting next to her. "A little," Emma said quietly. "My father died last month. I have no family left in the village. My Uncle Thomas lives in London. He said I can work in his shop." "London is a big city," Mrs. Baker said kindly, "but you seem like a brave girl. You will do well." Emma smiled, but felt worried. What if Uncle Thomas did not like her? What if she could not do the work? She had only learned to read and write 2 years ago. The coach stopped at a small town. A tall man in a black coat got on. He had dark hair and cold blue eyes. He sat across from Emma and stared at her. "Good morning," the man said. "I am Mr. Harrison. Are you traveling to London?" "Yes, sir," Emma replied. "First time?" Emma nodded. "Be careful, young lady. London has many dangers. People disappear. Strange things happen." Mr. Harrison smiled, but his eyes stayed cold. Mrs. Baker moved closer to Emma. "Do not listen to him, dear. London is like any city, good people and bad people." Mr. Harrison laughed. "Perhaps you are right, madame, but I have lived there for 20 years. I know its secrets." He pulled out a small golden locket from his pocket and looked at it. Emma saw a letter M carved on the front. "Do you know what this is?" Mr. Harrison asked Emma. "A locket, sir?" "Yes, but not just any locket. This one belonged to someone very important, someone who discovered something she should not have discovered." Emma did not understand, but something about the man scared her. 2 hours later, the coach reached London. Emma had never seen so many people and buildings. The streets were full of horses, carts, and people shouting. "Emma!" a voice called. She looked around and saw a short man with brown hair waving at her. He looked kind and had the same green eyes as her father. "Uncle Thomas?" Emma asked. "Yes, my dear. Welcome to London." He hugged her and took her bag. "Come, let me show you your new home." As they walked away, Emma looked back. Mr. Harrison was watching her from the coach window. He was still holding the golden locket.
Chapter 2, The Bookshop. Uncle Thomas led Emma through the busy streets of London. They passed markets full of food, clothes, and strange things Emma had never seen. "Here we are," Uncle Thomas said, stopping in front of a small shop. A wooden sign above the door said White's Books. Inside, the shop was full of books from floor to ceiling. Emma had never seen so many books in one place. "This is where you will work," Uncle Thomas said, "and this is where you will live. He showed her a small room behind the shop with a bed, a chair, and a window. "Thank you, Uncle," Emma said. "I will work hard." "I know you will. But first, let me explain something important," Uncle Thomas said. The shop door and looked serious. "Some of our customers are special. They buy books, but they also share information." "What kind of information?" "About the government, about rich people who do bad things, about secrets." Uncle Thomas sat down. "Your father never told you, but our family has always helped people find the truth." Emma was confused. "I do not understand." "Some powerful people in London steal money from poor people. They make bad laws. They hurt innocent people. We help gather proof of these bad things. Is that dangerous?" Uncle Thomas nodded. "Sometimes. That is why you must be very careful. Watch everyone who comes to the shop. Listen to what they say. Trust no one completely." That evening, Emma helped Uncle Thomas close the shop. As they were putting books away, someone knocked on the door. Uncle Thomas looked through the window. "Strange, we are closed." He opened the door. A young woman with red hair stood outside. She looked scared and kept looking over her shoulder. "Please," the woman said, "I need help. My name is Mary Johnson. Someone is trying to kill me." Uncle Thomas quickly let her in and locked the door. "What happened?" Mary sat down and began to cry. "I work for Lord Blackwood. I clean his house. Yesterday I found papers in his study. They showed he is stealing money from the city treasury, thousands of pounds." "Did you take the papers?" Uncle Thomas asked. "I tried to, but his men caught me. They took the papers, but I memorized some of the information. Lord Blackwood said if I tell anyone, he will have me killed." Emma remembered Mr. Harrison from the coach. What did these men look like? One was tall, with dark hair and cold eyes. He wore a black coat. Emma's heart beat faster. Did he have a golden locket? Mary looked surprised. "Yes. How did you know?" "I met him today on the coach. He showed me the locket. He said it belonged to someone who discovered something they should not have." Uncle Thomas and Mary looked at each other. "Emma," Uncle Thomas said slowly, "I think that locket belonged to my sister Margaret. She disappeared 3 years ago. She was investigating Lord Blackwood." Emma felt cold. "You mean my Aunt Margaret, father's sister?" "Yes, we never found her body, but if that man has her locket, she is dead," finished quietly. Chapter 3. The Plan. The next morning, Uncle Thomas opened the shop as usual, but Emma could see he was worried. Mary had stayed the night in Emma's room. "We must be very careful," Uncle Thomas said. "Lord Blackwood has many men working for him. If they know Mary is here—" A customer entered the shop. He was an old man with white hair and a walking stick. "Good morning, Mr. White," the old man said. "I am looking for a book about gardening." Uncle Thomas smiled. "Of course, Mr. Fletcher. Follow me." Emma watched as Uncle Thomas led the man to a corner of the shop. They talked quietly for several minutes. Then Mr. Fletcher bought a book and left. "What was that about?" Emma asked. "Mr. Fletcher is a magistrate. He works for the courts. I told him about Mary and Lord Blackwood. Will he help us?" "He will try, but we need proof. Without the papers Mary saw, it is only her word against Lord Blackwood's word." Mary came out from the back room. "I have an idea," she said. "Tonight is Lord Blackwood's weekly dinner party. Many important people come to his house. The servants will be busy. I could sneak back in and get the papers." "Too dangerous," Uncle Thomas said. "If they catch you—" "But it might be our only chance," Mary said, "and I know the house very well." Emma spoke up. "What if I came with you? 2 people are better than 1. "Absolutely not," Uncle Thomas said. "Emma, you just arrived yesterday. You do not understand how dangerous this is." "But Aunt Margaret died trying to stop Lord Blackwood. Should we let him keep stealing and hurting people?" Uncle Thomas looked at Emma for a long time. Finally, he sighed. "You are like your father, brave but stubborn." He turned to Mary. "If you do this, you must promise to be very careful, and if something goes wrong, you must run." That evening, Emma and Mary walked through the dark streets of London. Oil lamps gave a little light, but many areas were completely black. Lord Blackwood's house was large and beautiful. Through the windows, they could see people in expensive clothes eating and drinking. "The servants' entrance is around the back," Mary whispered. They walked carefully around the house. Mary used a key to open a small door. "I kept this when I ran away," she explained. Inside, the house was warm and bright. They could hear music and laughter from the dining room. "The study is upstairs," Mary said. "Follow me and stay quiet." They climbed the wooden stairs. Each step seemed very loud to Emma. The study was a large room with a big desk and many books. Mary went straight to the desk and began looking through papers. "Here," she whispered excitedly, "these are the papers I saw." Emma looked at the documents. Even though the writing was difficult, she could see numbers and names. Lord Blackwood was indeed stealing money from the city. "Take them," Emma whispered. As Mary picked up the papers, they heard footsteps in the hallway. "Someone is coming," Emma said. They looked around quickly. The room had only one door, and the windows were too high to climb out. "Under the desk," Mary whispered. They crawled under the large wooden desk just as the door opened. Chapter 4. Discovered. Emma held her breath as someone entered the study. Through the gap under the desk, she could see black boots walking across the floor. "The papers are gone," a deep voice said. Emma recognized it, Mr. Harrison from the coach. "Are you certain they were here?" another voice asked. "Lord Blackwood said he put them in the desk after the girl ran away." Emma felt Mary shaking beside her. The papers were hidden under Mary's dress. "Check the other rooms," Harrison said. "Someone is in this house." The second man left, but Harrison stayed. Emma could see his boots moving around the room. He was searching everywhere. Suddenly, he stopped right in front of the desk. "Come out," he said quietly. "I know you are there." Emma and Mary did not move. "Very well." Harrison pulled out a pistol. "Come out, or I will shoot through the desk." Slowly, Emma and Mary crawled out from under the desk. Harrison pointed the gun at them. "Miss Johnson," he said with a cold smile, "we meet again, and you brought a friend." "Please," Mary said, "we did not take anything." Harrison laughed. "Do not lie to me. Give me the papers." Mary looked at Emma. Emma gave a tiny shake of her head. "We do not have any papers," Mary said. "Search them," Harrison called. The second man returned and searched Mary's pockets. But the papers were hidden in a place he did not look. "Nothing," the man said. Harrison looked angry. "Then where are they?" Just then, they heard a voice from downstairs. "Mr. Harrison, Lord Blackwood wants to see you." Harrison's face became even more angry. "Lock them in the cellar," he told the other man. "We will deal with them after the party." The man pushed Emma and Mary out of the study and down a different set of stairs. The cellar was cold and dark. There were no windows and only one door. "Now what do we do?" Emma whispered after the man left. "I still have the papers," Mary said, pulling them from inside her dress. "But we are trapped." Emma looked around the cellar. It was full of boxes and old furniture. In one corner, she saw something that gave her hope. "Look," she said, pointing to a small opening near the ceiling. "A coal chute. It leads outside." "But it is too high," Mary said. Emma moved some boxes to make a pile. "Help me stack these higher." Working together, they built a pile of boxes almost to the ceiling. Emma climbed up first and pushed open the small door of the coal chute. "I can fit through," she said, "but you must come too." "I am too big," Mary said. "You go, take the papers, find your uncle." "I cannot leave you." "You must. These papers are the only proof we have. If they find them—" Emma knew Mary was right. She took the papers and squeezed through the coal chute. She fell into a pile of coal in the backyard of the house. She was dirty and hurt, but she was free. Now she had to get back to Uncle Thomas before Harrison discovered Mary did not have the papers.
Chapter 5. The Escape. Emma ran through the dark streets of London. The papers were hidden inside her dress, but she could feel them against her skin. She had to get to Uncle Thomas quickly. Behind her, she heard shouting from Lord Blackwood's house. They had discovered that she had escaped. The streets were dangerous at night. Emma passed groups of men drinking outside taverns. Some of them called out to her, but she kept running. Finally, she reached the bookshop. All the windows were dark. Emma knocked on the door quietly. "Uncle Thomas," she whispered, "it is Emma." The door opened quickly. Uncle Thomas pulled her inside and locked the door. "Emma, what happened? Where is Mary? You are covered in coal." Emma showed him the papers. "We found them, but Harrison caught us. Mary is still trapped in Lord Blackwood's house." Uncle Thomas looked at the papers quickly. "These are perfect. This is all the proof we need." He looked up at Emma. "But we must help Mary." "How? Harrison has men everywhere." "Mr. Fletcher, the magistrate, he said he would help if we brought proof." Uncle Thomas wrote a quick letter. "Take this to Mr. Fletcher's house. The address is on the letter. Tell him to bring the city watch to Lord Blackwood's house immediately." "What about you?" "I will go to the house and try to help Mary." "Uncle, no, it is too dangerous." "She risked her life to get these papers. I cannot abandon her." Emma took the letter and ran back into the night. Mr. Fletcher's house was on the other side of the city. It took her almost an hour to reach it. She knocked on the door loudly. A servant answered. "I must see Mr. Fletcher immediately," Emma said. "It is about Lord Blackwood." The servant looked at her dirty clothes suspiciously, but he let her in. Mr. Fletcher came downstairs in his night clothes. "What is this about?" Emma gave him the letter and the papers. She explained everything that had happened. Mr. Fletcher read the papers carefully. His face became serious. "This is terrible," he said. "Lord Blackwood has stolen over £10,000. He looked at Emma. "You did very well, child, but we must act quickly." He called for his carriage and sent men to gather the city watch. "Come," he said to Emma, "we are going to arrest Lord Blackwood." When they reached Lord Blackwood's house, Emma saw Uncle Thomas hiding across the street. The party was still going on inside. Mr. Fletcher and 12 men from the city watch went to the front door. Emma stayed with Uncle Thomas. "Did you find Mary?" she asked. "She is still in the cellar, but Harrison and his men are guarding the house." They watched as Mr. Fletcher knocked on the front door. A servant answered. "I am Magistrate Fletcher," he said loudly. "I have a warrant for the arrest of Lord Blackwood." Through the windows, they could see people inside looking confused and frightened. A few minutes later, Lord Blackwood came to the door. He was a fat man with gray hair and expensive clothes. "This is outrageous," he shouted. "How dare you disturb my dinner party?" "You are under arrest for theft of city funds," Mr. Fletcher said. He showed Lord Blackwood the papers. "We have proof." Lord Blackwood's face went white when he saw the papers. "Search the house," Mr. Fletcher told his men. "Find any other evidence. And find a young woman named Mary Johnson. She is being held prisoner." Chapter 6. Justice. The City Watch searched Lord Blackwood's house completely. They found Mary locked in the cellar, frightened but not hurt. They also found more papers that proved Lord Blackwood had been stealing money for many years. But Harrison and his men had escaped through the back of the house.
"Do not worry," Mr. Fletcher told Emma and Uncle Thomas. "We will find them. Men like Harrison cannot hide in London for long." Lord Blackwood was taken to prison. The next day, all of London was talking about his arrest. The newspapers wrote stories about the brave young women who had exposed his crimes. 3 days later, Harrison was caught trying to leave England on a ship. In his bag, the City Watch found Aunt Margaret's golden locket and her diary. Uncle Thomas read the diary with tears in his eyes. "Margaret discovered Lord Blackwood's crimes 3 years ago," he told Emma. "She was going to expose him, but Harrison killed her first." "What will happen to Harrison?" Emma asked. "He will hang," Uncle Thomas said simply, "and Lord Blackwood will spend the rest of his life in prison." Emma felt sad about Aunt Margaret, but she also felt proud. They had brought justice for her death and stopped Lord Blackwood from stealing more money. Mary came to live and work at the bookshop. The 3 of them became like a family. "You know," Uncle Thomas said one evening as they closed the shop, "your father would be very proud of you, Emma." "I was so scared when I came to London," Emma said. "I thought I was just a simple village girl." "Sometimes the bravest people are the ones who do what is right, even when they are scared," Uncle Thomas replied. A week later, Mr. Fletcher came to the bookshop with good news. "The City Council wants to give you a reward," he told Emma and Mary, £100 each for exposing Lord Blackwood. Emma had never seen so much money. "What should I do with it?" "Whatever you want," Uncle Thomas said. "You earned it." Emma thought for a moment. "I want to use some of it to learn to read and write better, and maybe we can help other people who need justice." Uncle Thomas smiled. "That sounds like something Margaret would have wanted." That night, Emma looked out her window at the busy streets of London. A month ago, she had been afraid of the big city. Now she knew that even ordinary people could make a difference. She thought about the golden locket and Aunt Margaret. The locket was buried with Margaret's body in a proper grave, but her spirit lived on in the work they were doing. Emma fell asleep planning how they could help more people find justice. She was no longer a scared village girl. She was a young woman who had learned that courage could overcome fear and that truth was more powerful than money or threats. A new beginning. 6 months later, Emma stood behind the counter of the bookshop, but it was very different now. Half of the shop still sold books, but the other half had become an office where people could come for help. A sign in the window said, "White and Johnson, we help find truth and justice." Mary had learned to read and write with Emma's help. Together, they helped poor people who had been cheated by rich merchants, women whose husbands had abandoned them, and workers who were not paid fair wages. Uncle Thomas was proud of what the shop had become. "Your Aunt Margaret always dreamed of helping more people," he told Emma. "You have made her dream come true." One morning, a young man came into the shop. He looked nervous and kept looking over his shoulder. "Please," he said, "I need help. My master is making me work without pay. He says I owe him money, but I know he is lying." Emma smiled and invited him to sit down. "Tell us everything," she said. "We will help you find the truth." As the young man told his story, Emma thought about her journey from a scared village girl to someone who could help others. She had learned that ordinary people could do extraordinary things when they were brave enough to try. Outside the window, London continued its busy life, but inside the bookshop, Emma and Mary were changing the world one person at a time. And in her pocket, Emma carried a small silver locket that Uncle Thomas had given her. It had belonged to her mother, and inside was a tiny portrait of her family. Emma had lost her parents, but she had found her purpose. She had come to London looking for a new life, and she had found something better, a way to make other people's lives better too. The golden locket that had belonged to Aunt Margaret was gone, but its story lived on. It reminded Emma that every person who fought for justice became part of a chain that could never be broken. As long as people like Emma and Mary were willing to be brave, truth would always win over lies, and good would triumph over evil. The end.